Most infotainment systems don't just fail overnight. They give you a small warning signs first. The problem is, by the time most people realize what those signs mean, it is already too late. And that's how you go from a minor glitch to a permanent failure. In this video, I'll show you how to spot the early warning signs most people ignore, what's actually causing these systems to fail behind the scenes, and exactly what to do in the moment you notice a problem, so you don't end up with a massive repair bill. Here's how it usually goes. First, the screen freezes once, just for a few seconds. Then maybe a week later, it randomly reboots. Then your audio cuts out or your phone won't connect properly. At this point, most people are just annoyed, but what they don't realize is this isn't a random thing. It's a progression, and every step is the system getting closer to a complete failure. Now, the problem is most of these systems do not fail all at once. They start with small things. You might notice the screen lagging or freezing for a few seconds. Maybe it randomly reboots while you're driving. Sometimes the audio cuts out or your phone won't connect properly. CarPlay drops, apps crash. Individually, none of these feel serious, and because the system usually comes back, you just carry on using it. But here's the key thing most people miss. It's not about how bad the issue is, it's about whether it's happening more than once. If you see the same glitch repeat, even occasionally, that's your warning sign, because these systems don't fail randomly, they follow patterns. And once those patterns start showing up, it means something inside the unit is starting to break down. Now, what's actually causing that behind the scenes is where it gets interesting. So what's really going on inside these systems? Because from the outside, it just looks like random glitches. But underneath, here are usually two things happening, and once you understand these, everything starts to make sense. The first is software issues. This can be something as simple as a bad update. These happen on the modern cars. Updates now on cars happen while we drive, when the car is parked, because they're constantly connected to the Volkswagen Group servers. So when the update is interrupted for various reasons, for example, it can corrupt the data inside the system. Sometimes an update can get interrupted when it gets a slight voltage drop. They are very sensitive to any voltage variations. Other times, it could be a faulty SD card or a USB device feeding bad data into the system. And when that happens, the software starts behaving unpredictably. That's when you see things like freezing, random reboots, or features not working properly. Now, the early stages, this can be fixed on a software level, but if it's left, it can start affecting something much more serious. Because the second cause, and this is the big one, is the hardware wear. Inside these units, you've got memory chips sorting all the system data. Over time, those chips wear out. Heat, vibration, age, all adds up. And these are the conditions that these systems are living in, because cars obviously go through very harsh conditions. And it only takes a tiny fault in that memory, one bad section, to start causing systems instability. That's when those small glitches stop being occasional and start becoming more frequent. And this is the part most people don't realize. What often starts as a software type symptom can actually be early signs of hardware failure, which means if you ignore it at this stage, you're giving it time to get worse. Now, this is the point where things start to change, because up until now, the system still recovers. It freezes, then comes back. It reboots, then works fine again. But once the underlying issue gets worse, you start to notice a shift. Instead of occasional glitches, the system starts struggling to function at all. You might see it stuck in a reboot loop, so it starts up and then shuts down and then starts up and shuts down and just continues like this. Or the screen could be staying black and not come up at all. Or you get an error screen instead of a normal system loading. At this stage, a reset usually won't fix it anymore, because the problem isn't just a temporary instability, something inside the unit has now properly failed. And once it gets to this point, your options become a lot more limited. This is where most people end up being told they need a full system replacement. But what caused that wasn't sudden. It was everything that happened before and all those small warning signs that were ignored. So if you notice any of these early signs, this is where you need to act, because what you do at this stage can be the difference between a simple fix and a permanent failure. So first, try a system reset. Now, the exact method can vary depending on the car model. So check your specific vehicle manual, where you will find how to reset your system. The goal here is simple. Force the system to restart properly and clear any temporary crashes. Next, remove any external media. That means USB sticks, SD cards, or anything plugged into the system. You would be surprised how often a faulty or corrupted device is what's causing the issue. Then reboot the system again and see how it behaves. After that, check for any software updates or recalls. Also, don't overlook your car battery. Low battery voltage can cause infotainment system to behave erratically. Things like random reboots, glitches, or features not working properly can sometimes come down to unstable voltage rather than the fault inside the unit itself. So it's always worth getting the battery health check, because in some cases that alone can solve the issue. Manufacturers do release fixes for known issues, and in some cases this can be done without any cost. Now, here's the important part. If the issue comes back, even once, don't ignore it. Start paying attention to the pattern. Is it happening more often? Is it getting worse? Because once you see the pattern forming, it's a clear sign the system is deteriorating. And at that point, the best thing you can do is to get it properly diagnosed. Not just scanned, actually diagnosed at the component level, because most places will just jump straight to replacing the whole unit. But in a lot of cases, it's just one part inside that has failed, and catching it early gives you a much better chance of fixing it before it turns into something bigger. And this is where most people get caught up, because by the time the system fully fails, they've already missed all the chances to fix it early. So they go to a dealer or a major garage, explain the problem, and the answer is almost always the same. You need a full system replacement. Now, that's not because repair isn't possible, it's because these garages are not set up for board-level diagnostics or repairs. They set up to work efficiently by replacing faulty parts, not repairing them. And while that works from a service point of view, it usually ends up being very expensive for the customer. But here's the key thing. Whether you catch the problem early or even if it's already started getting worse, your best option is to go to an infotainment specialist, because a proper specialist won't just plug it in and do a basic scan. They will carry out a deeper diagnostics, the kind that actually identify the root cause. And once you know exactly what's failed, in many cases, that specific part or specific area of the problem can be repaired without replacing the entire system. And that's the difference, not just replacing parts, but actually fixing the problem at its source. Now, there's one more system in the car that often gets ignored, and it can actually be the reason your infotainment system starts misbehaving in the first place. And once you understand it, you'll be able to make a much better call on whether your infotainment system is actually faulty or if something else in the car is interfering with how it works. So if you want to understand what that is, click right here and watch this next video.